Hi friends, it's Ashley and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is another reading vlog and we're going to be reading one of my 2026 anticipated romantasy books, and that is The Library of Amorlin. And so this is the first book in a series and I'm really excited for this one because it has magical creatures in it and a magical library. And so this one follows Kasira, who used to be a masterful con artist, but that was before she was caught. And so now she's working off a lengthy prison sentence that involves hunting dangerous magical creatures. However, one day an ambassador for the kingdom offers her a deal. Her freedom in exchange for one last con, that being to infiltrate the Library of Amorlin. And so Kasira ends up going undercover at this library as the new assistant librarian. But in order to accomplish her goal, she's going to have to bring down the head librarian, and this is not going to be an easy job. And this head librarian is Alistair, and he's as prickly as he is handsome, and he's also keeping a dangerous secret. And so Kasira has to make a decision. Either take down Alistair and destroy the only place that has ever felt like home, or be herself for once in her life and risk losing it all anyway. And so this just sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to get into this. Hi, so I'm back with a reading update because I've made it to chapter 11, page 104. And so far, I'm thoroughly enjoying everything about this book. The world building, the writing, the characters, our main female character, our main male character, everything is just very fascinating so far. And in particular, the world building has been very interesting so far. And in this book, each kingdom views the magical creatures, the beasts, in a different light. So, for example, Kasira, in the kingdom that she grew up in, beasts are actually viewed as a physical manifestation of sin. So, you are taught that if you sin, then a beast is born. And this certain religion also believes that in order for the people to reach salvation, all the beasts have to be killed. But normal people can't kill beasts because doing so will corrupt their souls. And so the only people that can kill beasts are these people who are a part of a hunter group. And our main female character, Kasira, is actually a part of this group of hunters, but she is not there willingly. She is there because she got caught committing a crime. And she has actually always had an interest in the magical beasts, and so she has viewed them with curiosity rather than disgust and fear. However, she has learned that she can't really show this curiosity about the creatures because then people look down upon her and look upon her as a traitor. And so she has kind of been, for the past years, having to kill the beast, even though she doesn't quite agree with it. It's her way of survival, because if she doesn't do this, then she'll be sent back to jail, and the jail that she was in was a horrible place and she never wants to go back there again. And so she is stuck in this position where she is kind of just surviving and not really living, and she's kind of just been jaded from everything that she's gone through. And I feel like so far I am really liking her character, and I feel like the first 100 pages has done like a very good job of establishing her character, how she is definitely like a strong character, but also she has her weaknesses, and you can see that she's just really going through a tough time right now. And then our main male character we are introduced to when Kasira ends up going to the library to become the assistant librarian. And immediately when they meet, I could feel like the chemistry between the two of them right away. And I just feel like their dynamic is going to be so much fun. And he immediately like doesn't trust her at all and sees her as a spy. And he's not wrong, because she has been sent there as a spy to dismantle the library. And speaking of the library, like, I'm loving like how magical the library feels so far. It is on the sentient side, and it has a bit of a mind of its own. And also there are leopard spirits that work in the libraries. And in particular, there's one leopard that talks and likes to bake scones, and I already love him. And I also find it very interesting that the library's view on beasts very much contrasts with Kasira's kingdom on beasts. So the library, unlike Kasira's kingdom, they revere the beasts and they research them and they protect them. And so that's kind of why Kasira's kingdom wants to get rid of the library, and they want to take over the library. Because in order to accomplish their goal of getting rid of all the beasts, they will need to get rid of the library that protects the magical creatures. And the beasts are another fascinating thing about this book so far. And so far we learned about a few of the magical beasts, and just learning about them is just so fascinating. And I really like how in the beginning of the book there's pictures of them. So like as you're reading, you can like refer back to the pictures and just like see what they look like. And I just think this is so cool, and I love like how much care has gone into like the creation of these beasts. And then in terms of like the story and the plot, the first 100 pages definitely has spent like a lot of time like laying the groundwork, just like introducing us to the characters, into the world, and just like taking its time. But the groundwork for the plot has definitely been laid. And the book has been like giving us little hints of things to come that have me very intrigued. And then in addition to all that, I'm also really liking how this book is written. And so most of this book is told in third person from Kasira's point of view. But every so often we get a chapter perspective from Alistair, the love interest's point of view. In the last 100 pages, we've gotten 2 chapters from his perspective. And I really like how those chapters get us into his head, but also how like they reveal some things about the library, but also like the chapters kind of keep those things vague as well. So like, you know, something is up, but it doesn't really tell you too much. But like those little slithers that you do learn just like makes me want to read more to find out exactly what is going on. And so those are all my thoughts at the moment. Like I said, I'm really enjoying this. I need to read more because I need to know more about like everything. I need to know more about the plot. I need to know more about these secrets. I need to know more about the magical creatures, and I need to see more interactions between Alistair and Kasira. Hi, so I'm here with a reading update because I have made it to chapter 27, page 271. So I'm more than halfway done now, and I'm on part 3, and I had to update before I continue any further. The thing that just happened, oh my gosh, things are like about to go down. So yeah, I've been really enjoying my time with this book. It has like a really good balance of like different elements and of things going on. So you have some politics going on between like all the different countries, and it's really interesting to get to see like the role that the library plays in all of that. And then there's also a mystery going on with the strange things that's happening with the library and its magic, because something isn't quite right. And so there's that that's very intriguing. And then also there's world building with learning like all about the different magical creatures, which is also very fascinating. And so many of them are just like adorable and I want to hug them. And also with that, you get to see Kasira go on different missions and use magic in order to secure and protect these magical creatures. And then also there is character development. So Kasira as a character, like she has been developed so much, like her character is so complex. And throughout this book, like you get to see like things of her past and why she is the way she is. And also you get to see her like struggling with trying to figure out exactly who she is and what she wants, because for like many years now, she's kind of just been surviving and not really living. And so like her time at the library is kind of making her kind of like come alive again and like regain like a sense of wonder that she lost throughout those trying years when the world was just like beating her down. And you also like see her struggling with that as well, because the whole reason she's at the library is to do this job, to take down the library for the people who hate the magical creatures. But as she's spending more time there, she's starting to care for the creatures that live there and the people at the library, which that includes our head librarian, Alistair. So the romance between the two of them, definitely very slow burn. Like I would say like there hasn't even been really any romance yet. It's mostly this whole time, mostly she has been trying to convince him to trust her, because from the very first pages, he doesn't trust her at all, which that's ironic because she actually is a spy, so he's right. And so yeah, I'm nervous but super excited to read more of this, because I need to know what's gonna happen, even if it might break my heart. Okay, so I changed into a comfy sweatshirt and it is time to hop in. I am nervous but also excited. Okay, chapter 27, here we go. Oh no. So I finished the Library of Amorlin like 10 minutes ago, and I'm giving it 4 stars. I was really worried about how it was going to end, how everything was turned out, but the ending was actually really satisfying. And so the ending does like wrap up like the main plot stuff that was going on in here, but also it does leave some loose ends because this is the first book in a series. And so my only real complaint about this book is the cause of like all my stress and anxiety like towards like the end of this book was that there was a certain like plot point that just felt like a little drawn out, and that just caused me like a lot of stress and anxiety. And that plot point was also intertwined with our main female character Kasira's like personality. And so because of that and because of it being like so drawn out, like there were a couple times where she started to get on my nerves a little bit just because of that. And I was like, why are we doing this again? Like, why aren't you past that certain thing yet? But like I said, like the ending, how everything was resolved was super satisfying. But other than that, I really like Kasira as a character. I thought her character was really well developed. And also similarly, our love interest, Alistair, I also thought his character was really well developed as well. And I really loved the library in here, the Library of Amorlin. I just loved like how magical and cozy and whimsical it felt. I love that it feels kind of alive, that there are little leopard spirits that work in there, and also a snow leopard who bakes scones and brings tea to everyone. And similarly, the magical beasts in here, I just really loved learning about them as well, and I found like all of them so fascinating and interesting. And in particular, I loved seeing Kasira form a relationship with a certain magical creature in here. That just made me so happy and warmed my heart. And one other thing that I really liked in here was the magic system. And the magic itself comes from the library. And so like the library, it just feels like very whimsical and fantastical. And in that way, like it's very much like a soft magic system. And overall, like it feels really fun too. Because one of the magical abilities that Alistair and Kasira get is that they can teleport. and they teleport like with a snap of their fingers, which I think is just really cool. And so those are all my thoughts on the Library of Amorlin. Let me know down below if you read this, what you thought of it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye!